Welcome to the Yamaha Garage. Thanks for joining us today for some useful service information and pointers on maintaining your Yamaha TT-R110 trail bike. Today's video is going to cover a simple maintenance task that should be a regular part of your pre-ride routine, properly maintaining your drive chain. This will cover basic cleaning and lubrication, along with checking and adjusting chain slack and alignment. Why is it important to look after your motorcycle's chain? First off, keeping your chain clean and lubricated will greatly extend its life. A properly maintained chain can give you numerous seasons of reliable service, while a poorly maintained chain can wear out quickly, requiring frequent replacements. Second, running your motorcycle with a chain that is too tight can cause damage to your chain, sprockets, and even your engine. It also risks snapping your chain, which can cause a dangerous situation. Running your bike with a chain that's too loose can also damage the chain, sprockets, can cause the chain to contact and damage hard parts like the swing arm, and also risks throwing the chain off, again, causing a dangerous situation. And finally, if your chain is misaligned, it can cause many similar issues, including damage or premature wear to your chain and sprockets. So now that we've explained the importance of keeping up with this routine maintenance task, let's get down to business. Much like checking your engine oil before every ride, Yamaha recommends inspecting your drive chain before every ride as well. These are an essential part of the proper maintenance of your motorcycle and should never be neglected. Expect a simple chain inspection along with cleaning and lubing to take approximately 15 minutes. And if your chain needs adjustment or realignment, expect that to take approximately 20 minutes. We give this a Yamaha difficulty rating of 1 wrench or easy on our difficulty scale. This is going to be a breeze. Ready to get started? First off, let's ensure we have all the tools and products we'll need for proper chain maintenance, starting with a stand to safely elevate the rear wheel like this sturdy, lightweight Yamaha GYTR stand. We'll also need a soft nylon brush, a clean rag, an O-ring safe solvent or cleaning solution for cleaning the chain, Yamalube synthetic chain lube, a breaker bar, 19mm socket and torque wrench, 10, 12, 14, and 17mm wrenches, a ruler, nitrile gloves, and safety glasses. Next, let's get the bike up on a stand so we can freely rotate the rear wheel. As a side note, you can clean the chain without the stand by simply rolling the bike in short increments to access each section of the chain, but a stand will make working on your bike much easier. With the bike up on the stand, make sure it's in neutral and begin cleaning the chain with your soft nylon brush or a clean rag using either an O-ring safe solvent or just soap and water. Slowly rotate the wheel while cleaning, and it's important to always ensure you keep fingers or loose clothing away from the sprocket. It's best to always rotate the wheel in the direction that moves the chain away from the sprocket. And of course, never clean your drive chain with the engine running. To protect your chain's O-rings and ensure a longer life, it's important to not spray the chain directly with a high-pressure washer or use steam cleaners or inappropriate solvents to clean your chain. Make certain any product you use is safe for O-rings. Once you've finished cleaning the chain, wipe down any excess solvent or cleaning solution. And now we're ready to lubricate. We recommend Yamalube synthetic chain lube to provide the best mix of moly, PTFE, and wax for superior protection from off-road mud and grit, along with outstanding water and corrosion resistance. You can find it and other quality Yamalube products at yamaha-motor.com. It's important to always use an O-ring safe chain lubricant or wax. Makeshift lubricants like engine oil may contain additives that can damage O-rings and should be avoided. Using your chain lube, begin spraying your chain below the swing arm while slowly rotating the wheel until the entire length of the chain has been coated. Then grab your rag and clean off any excess lube from the chain and any of the surrounding parts. Now that we have the chain clean and lubricated, let's move on to checking the chain slack and alignment. As we mentioned before, Yamaha recommends this check be done before every ride. For this, we need to remove the bike from the stand and rest it on its side stand. Put the motorcycle in neutral and note that there should be no additional weight on the suspension, so we don't want anyone sitting on the bike while checking slack. It is not required, but you can, for ease, remove the lower chain cover using an 8mm socket. As demonstrated here, drive chain slack on your TT-R110 should be checked at approximately middle of the swing arm. The owner's manual says slack should be between 40 and 56 millimeters, or between 1.57 and 2.20 inches. Get out your ruler, and if the free play falls out of this range, your chain is out of spec and will need to be adjusted. To make your adjustments, start by loosening the rear brake pedal free play adjusting nut. Next, let's get out our 19mm socket and 17mm wrench and loosen the rear axle nut. Using your 10mm and 12mm wrench, loosen the lock nuts at both sides of the swing arm. If your chain needs to be tightened, turn the drive chain slack adjusting nut at each end of the swing arm in a clockwise direction. To loosen the drive chain, turn the adjusting nut in a counterclockwise direction, and then push the rear wheel forward to recheck the drive chain slack. To keep your wheel, chain, and sprockets in proper alignment, it's imperative to ensure that the alignment marks on each side of the swing arm are in the same position. Once you've adjusted the drive chain slack to the proper spec, you can now use your torque wrench to retighten the axle nut to 44 pound-feet, and then retighten the lock nuts to 5.2 pound-feet. Then measure and readjust the rear brake pedal free play adjusting nut as necessary until free play is between 10 and 20 millimeters as outlined in your owner's manual. As a side note, if you're unfamiliar with the use of a torque wrench or just interested in learning more, be sure to check out our torque wrench basics video in the Yamaha garage. Now we're almost done, but let's handle one additional check while we're here. Let's roll the motorcycle either backward or forward and stop to check the chain slack at random increments to ensure the slack remains consistent. Differences in the measurement can mean a seized link or other chain damage that may require the chain to be replaced. Also, check for chain stretch by pulling on the chain links from the back of the rear sprocket. The chain should be snug on the sprocket all the way around. Finally, inspect the teeth of your front and rear sprockets to make sure they are not curved, chipped, or excessively worn. If either the drive chain or sprocket needs to be replaced, always replace them together as a complete set, since replacing a chain without replacing sprockets can cause premature wear to the new chain. You can find replacement Yamaha sprockets and top quality O-ring chains at a Yamaha dealer near you. This is also a good time to consider a couple last TT-R tech tips to keep your bike running its best. First off, after every ride, it's very important to turn the fuel petcock lever to off. Most of today's ethanol fuels only have a shelf life of approximately 90 days and can even start to degrade and lose potency after only 7 days. So if you're not sure when you're going to ride again and you think the bike may sit for a while, turn the fuel petcock off while keeping the bike idling outside in a well-ventilated area until it runs out of gas and shuts off on its own before turning the ignition off. This will drain fuel from the carburetor and help protect it from clogging and corrosion resulting from aged ethanol fuel. Just remember to turn the petcock back to the on position the next time you go to start it. Give it a few quick turns of the starter to get fuel back in the carb bowl, and when starting back up, be sure to never crank the engine more than 10 seconds at a time. If it doesn't start within 10 seconds, stop and check the fueling and choke position before trying again. We also recommend that you treat your fuel with Yamalube Fuel Med RX. We've extensively tested Fuel Med, and when used regularly, it can keep fuel fresh for up to a year, and also keep your fuel system free of corrosion or performance-robbing buildup. Finally, if you can't get out and ride your TT-R regularly and it's going to sit for 30 days or more, we recommend tending to the battery with an appropriate battery maintainer. We use the NOCO Genius in our shop to keep our variety of batteries charged and ready. You can buy a NOCO and Fuel Med RX at your Yamaha dealer. For more details on these tech tips, see our video on care and storage. And that wraps it up. Congratulations! You successfully completed the chain maintenance for your TT-R110. Great work! Note that a Yamaha Technical Academy Gold Tech always cleans their tools and puts them back in order after every job. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out the Yamaha YouTube channel for more do-it-yourself videos and technical tips. Now, let's get out and ride.